Hiya guys, and welcome back to Ade's Workshop. And today we're going to be making the rails that fit under the crosshead in a little steam engine, but we'll explain that as we go forward. Okay, before we start, a little bit of mail has come in. Let's start with, I think in a previous episode I was saying I needed to get myself a 3" to 4" mic. I did win one on eBay and it's on its way. It still haven't arrived. I think it's the Hermes carrier, so they tap the door with a feather. I'm sure you never hear them. Next thing you know, you get a message saying that they tried to deliver it and showing a photo of it on your doorstep, and then they clear off and you never hear the door, that sort of thing. So yeah, it was delivered on a day that I was there all day, and yeah, they tapped the door with a feather, cleared off, and I missed it. So we're arranging a redelivery of that. So the other thing, I actually bought a new Moore and Wright. It's only their budget range, but a 75 to 100, so 3 to 4" in metric mic. I haven't taken it out of the packet yet. I shall take it out of the pack when it's needed, but as you can see, 75mm to 100mm Moore and Wright mic. As I say, it's a budget range, but yeah, it's built the collection up now so that I've got metric mics from 0 to 1, 0 to 25, 25, 50, 50, 75, 75, 100, so up to, what's stopping that going in on a plastic bag? So yeah, up to 4". It's a silica gel bag that's stopping it going in. There we are. So right, so yeah, that's that. As I said, I'm waiting for the 3 to 4". Again, it's a second-hand used one off eBay, but it did look in very good condition. So I'm waiting for that to be redelivered. Second bit of mail. Long-time subscriber, long-time supporter of the channel, Mats, so hiya Mats, has sent me a small gift. I believe he said in his letter that he had to make up the value of an order to get a free delivery or something like that. I don't know exactly, but yeah, he touched on it. He's sent me a 22mm 3-flute insert cutter. So yeah, it's 22mm. Now he's actually fitted, this is a Technic, I don't know whether I can pick it up on there, Teknik, Technic brand. Not a brand I've heard of, but I've looked into it and looked at the packaging and what have you, and it's not a Chinese import, it's actually made in Turkey, so I've got high hopes for that. I'm sure it's going to be of a far better quality than the Chinese versions, and it looks really good. And he actually fitted 3 Iskar inserts into it, which he had in stock, so that's great, so thanks Mats. And at the same time, a pack of replacement inserts. So Mats, that's marvellous, absolutely marvellous, got a key to go with it. I shall be trying that out very shortly. I think I did say in an episode some time ago that I need to get a small indexable insert tool, you know, that's this sort of size. So Mats, thank you very much. So, without further ado, let's get straight on with these reels, or rails even, and I'll show you my alternative plan. So the little rails for the crosshead to slide underneath. Drawing shows a piece of 3/16 steel and basically machined a lens and 3 holes in it. Now, let me just get a piece of steel out. It's here somewhere. Here it is. Okay, so looking at the part, so they sit on packers on top of there, and the crosshead slides underneath. Now, even polished up, I think that's an ugly design. It's a simple design, but it's an ugly design. So I'm going to take you to a little sketch I've made and show you what I got in mind. So this would be the standard one, 3/16 square, hole either end for the clamp bolts. They sit on little spacers under there. And there's a hole in the middle, a 3/64, so I think an oil hole. My plan is not to move away from the basic design, so 3/16 square stock, but stuck up from the top by another 8 to the centre is going to be this rib with a slope down to the ends. Top view would look like this, so you'd have this rib in the centre. As you can see, it's all equal a 1/16 each, which ends up at the 16th. So we'll have this 16th rib rising up from the ends to a plateau on the top, across a flat, and back down again. But when I cut the scallops in the side, I'm going to leave about 3/16 of an inch in the centre, which is solid. So the section across the centre here would be 3/16 plus an 8, be 5/16 high in the middle, sloping down with a radius on the top both sides. These would be cut with something like a 4mm cutter to leave a radius in here. That will allow me a bit more meat in the top to put something like a 5BA thread down in to put an oil cup on at a later stage. And then I'd spot face the slopes off both ends to allow the standard bolts through the spacers as it was before. And I think that I've seen other models of steam engine with that sort of shape bridge. I don't know whether they were cast or what have you, but I just prefer that shape than the plain square. Never want to make it easy for myself. So yeah, make it hard for yourself, Ade. So anyway, so that's how I'm going to do it. I just think it looks nicer, and you know, this engine won't be run a lot. You know, I'll probably only ever run it on compressed air, but I just, yeah, I'm only building it because it looks nice. I want it to run perfectly, you know, is the goal. But, you know, something like that will look a lot nicer than two straight bits of steel on the top. Piece of steel, it's 6mm thick, and it's, yeah, it's 2.5 inches long. So I'm just going to block these up to size first. So that didn't clean up. Oh, what slipped there? Oh, I see. So yeah, it's blocking up, guys. It's going to be 5/16 by 3/16 is going to be the size that we block them up to, and then we will machine them to the length that they've got to be. So a little bit more off there. Maybe another 5 thou should clean that up, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, blocking up techniques, you've seen it all before, guys. This way, it shouldn't warp and twist too much. When I drop that 6mm thickness down to 3/16, I'm going to try and keep it equal, and because we could get a bit of stress relief, and it could bend a little bit. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, and we'll just do it. You know, sort it out, get one side flat, and then we work back and forth on the two sides to make sure it stays straight. It shouldn't bend much over this length, but it could. So that's finishing cut to bring this 6mm stock down to 5/16 in the one direction. That's two sides cleaned up at 5/16. My choice of parallels was shall we say only just. There's probably about, I don't know, 25 thou stuck out when it finishes. So yeah, sometimes you win. So we've got two pieces of steel. They're 2.5 inch long. They're over length, and they are 3/16 by 5/16. Yeah, there's a lot of machining to do on these yet, so I'm not worried about all these machining marks and what have you. That's all going to be taken care of. So I just need to machine the ends. Hang on. I'm just going to get a touch off on there. Clean up one end. On both parts. Okay, so quick measurement. Well, 175.185.198. 198. 11th out to come off. So I've got a 0 on my DRO. So take 11th out off there. Now I'll take it to 2.1875. Okay. Just going to 0 my DRO there. We'll give that another measure just to verify. Ooh. 2.186. We'll live with that. Okay. So I'm going to set a stop pin on the back now, swap for the other part, and then I can machine it to the same dimension reading on the DRO. So that's what we're going to do. So that's my stop pin set up on the back end. So I'll simply pop that one out. Make sure I get the machined end. Here we are. Pop that one in. Back against the stop pin. And machine this one to the same figure, which is 0. Well, this will show up, but 2.187. So this is all going to get a bit fiddly, but I'll try and explain what I'm doing. I've got a depth set of 0 on the top of the part. This is a 6mm ball end cutter. So I want to go down 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to go to 125. Hold on. 125 depth first of all. Not touching the part. And I haven't said, but I've zeroed out on the DRO smack in the middle of the part. So I'm going to come off the edge. I'm at depth. I'm waiting to get a touch off. So I'm just listening. There. I've got a touch off. So I'm going to write some figures down. I'm going to get myself a little pad. Not very organised here. I've got a little pad. So we got depth, and our touch off is 214 thou offset. Okay, so if I take, let's say, a 5 thou cut, in fact I'll take 14 thou, I'm going to go to 200 offset. And just lock Y. Right, I'm just going to hand feed across. And start taking this cut. And I'm going to stop short of the middle by 125 thou. So when I get to 125, in fact, I'll go a little bit more than that. I'm going to go to 200. And stop. So again, I'm going to go back to my sketch and go 200, and I've written it down. That's as far as I'm going to machine along there. 200 from the centre. I'm going to put another 10 thou on. Go to 190. I'm going to stop when I get to 200. There. Okay. I'm going to take the cut off altogether. Go the other end. Come into 200 again. Then we'll do 190 next. But I will miss my pin there. Okay, this is 200. Klein milling this time, but not to worry, we're only taking a light cut. And again, I'm going to stop at 200 from centre. Okay, there. I know you can't see because I'm working on the back here. And then I'm going to go to 190. Okay. Stopped at 200. Let's just run that off. But what I think I'll do, I come this side so you can see. going to come 200 this way. Run the cut along. Now this 200 position off centre that I'm stopping at is just it's off, you know, it's going to be smaller than that when I finish, I think. So that's 200. And then into 190. And I'm going to be taking this thickness of what I'm leaving on the top down to a 1/16 thick. So again, stop at 200. Yeah, I'll just wind off there this time. If I go to the end, come into the 200 and then come into 190. That's 200. There we go. And then so this is the starting pattern. And away. So this is the starting pattern that we're going to do. In fact, I just went to 190 the other way then, so I'll come in a bit, but not to worry. So these scallops are going to carry on until I'm leaving a rib on the top, a 1/16 wide. Okay, so cut's going to get bigger and bigger until we get to a 1/16. So 180 this time. Okay, it's difficult to show, but that's step one of the first one done. 4 scallops either side. I ended up going into a reading of 120 offset, and from the ends I went in either side to a reading of 185. So that's the first one done. So I did have to take my little pin stop out of the way. So I'm just going to put that back on the end of there, not on a burr. There we go, pushing in firmly. So I'll swap over to the other part and do the other one with exactly the same readings. So as you can see, I'm putting the angles on top now, and I've got my little vise inside the vise. I've set them up on an angle. I did have a parallel underneath this part, which I've taken out for machining, and it's up against a pin, so I can machine one end, take it out the vise, put the parallel back in, flip it round the other way, and machine the other end. Now, I'm not 100% sure I like the look of this. I think using the radius cutter to scallop the outside maybe wasn't such a good idea. But I'm going to put the slopes on anyway and dress them, so little rads and everything like that, to, or maybe one end of one of them. That's steps there. So I'm going to dress them. And let me try and show, let's see if I can get it in camera. I've done the first one. Can you see where the flat on the end, you can see the slope, and where the flat obviously on the top intersects with the radius where the radius cutter went, or ball nose cutter went up, it widens out on the top. Yeah, I mean it looks good, but I think I'm going to change, instead of having these radius scallops on the side, I think I'm going to do it with a square edge cutter to leave me that defined rib along the top. Yeah, so that it doesn't widen out as obviously the height breaks into the radius of the cutter. If I'd have had a cutter with a much smaller radius, we may have got away with it. But yeah, so these ends are going to be spot faced anyway, and obviously the centre is going to be where the lubricator goes. So yeah, I'm going to change that round, and I'll probably bring you back when that's done. So I'm just putting a little flat land with a bit of a scallop in it. It'll show when I show you the part. So just coming down to the depth, which leaves a 3/16 wall thickness, which pretty much means this end bit is now going to be to the drawing. I've got a 5mm cutter. There we are, we're on the centre there. If I put the cutter on centre, there, and then wind that cutter in to the centre line of where the bolt hole is going to be, which is a reading of 969 thou. And that'll leave a little half round cut out. Yeah, 969, just checking my drawing. Couple more thou. There's 969. I'll come back. So I can pull the parallel out of the way. So I'm going to change over to the drill chuck now and drill these holes 7BA clear. So I've got my DRO centered around the center hole of the beam. We'll call it a beam. I'm all on center, all dialed in. You've seen me use the edge finder to do that many times before. The part is up against a stop. I've done the first one. I'm going to do the second one on camera. Tends to be always a good idea. So this is 0, 0. This is the center hole. Got a center drill up. Because I've got so much more thickness here than the standard part, or height, or depth I should say, I'm going to be drilling this to the clearance hole, I think 3/64, which is where the oil runs down. And then, let me just move across to my reading, 969 thou. So that is, well, 9688, but 969 for the want of, for the sake of argument. Not quite there, there we go. So yeah, because I've got so much more depth in the centre there, I'm going to put a 5BA tapped hole in for an oil cup at a later date. And I can actually go 225 thou deep with that hole and still leave, you know, quite a, maybe a couple of millimetres, 70, 80 thou of wall thickness for the small hole. Okay, that's just starting. So across the other one, 969. For the small hole that the oil will actually run through, the 3/64. So 969 the other way. Okay. So just center drilling the 3 holes first. Just taking this little center drill in so that the taper just starts. There we are, I can see that. So we'll swap over to 7BA clearance. That's 2.6. Trying to find center, there we are. Right, I'm just going to pull the parallel out now, out from underneath. It's well clamped. Let's just slow things down a touch. And we're going to drill this 7BA clearance hole at 2.6mm. And in fact, I think the 5BA tapping drill is 2.65. We'd probably get away with this 2.6. Okay, that's that one. 969 again. That's 969 thou, offset from centre hole. 969, yeah. We'll drill this one. So these are going to take the little clamp down bolts that bolt the rails down onto the slide. And there's some little spacers we'll have to make. Okay, so if I go to centre now, so onto the 0, 0, which is there. I know I can go 225 thou deep is what I've decided to do. So I'll set a 0 there where I mark. And that'll give me, you know, nearly a 1/4 inch of 5BA thread in there. For when I come to make my little oil pots, I will be making them out of brass. Little oil pots with lids on. Should be fun. I'll have to make them to my own design. Okay, so let's get that 2.6 out. And it's a number 56 drill now. Find the middle of that chuck with a drill bit. Does that look right? We're about to find out. Looks good. Okay, so down into the bottom of there. Gently, gently. The drill in. And say we're only got about 80 thou wall thickness in the bottom of here. Okay, and we're through. So delicate procedure. A 3/64 number 56 drill. Okay, so we'll put that back in its holder before we lose it, along with the 2.6, and I'll put my centre drill away as well. Well, that's the two little bridges in place, roughly where they're going to live. Obviously the spaces go underneath them. I think they look far nicer with that bit of detail than just a flat square bar. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, something and nothing. Flat square bar would have been just 3 drilled holes. But with that bit of detail, I think they just look a bit nicer. Well, there we are, guys. We got the rails made, and I'm far happier with them. I didn't change the design afterwards. I just left it with the ball edge cutter on the side of it. And when they were finished up, I was quite happy with the way they looked, so we left it like that. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and we will see you all very soon. Cheers now.